Hey there, and welcome to the latest episode of the Mind Body Health Podcast with myself, Dave Sheahan, high performance consultant and dedicated now for over 25 years to educating, motivating, and hopefully inspiring people just like you to become the best selves that they can be, to live the best lives that they can, and to create that life experience that you dream about. Turn those dreams into reality, because you can have it all. You can have everything you want out of life. You can have the most magical, amazing, memorable life experience. You can feel amazing within yourself and love yourself. But you need to get the key foundation of mind body health sorted. You need to get control of that area. And while we speak of many different topics on this podcast, that's a key foundation. I always keep going back to the importance of having control of your mind, body, and health. Because when you have control of your mind, body, and health, that's how you truly live. That's how you truly are empowered, and how you will consistently take positive action towards your goals, towards your dreams, towards being the best person you can be, and towards having a positive impact on everyone else you come in contact with. So that's enough about that. Let's go on to today's topic. This podcast, I want to speak to you. I want to ask the question, why is prevention never talked about and addressed? Why is prevention never talked about and addressed? Now, with this, I'm going to be speaking broadly about many different things, but especially obviously health, in terms of the prevention of various aspects of health that is epidemic all over the world, that there's so much increase all the time of diseases and ailments and difficulties that people have are having in living just normal lives and having quality of lives. True, we're living much longer. People are living much longer than they did before, but is the quality of life there? I would have to say definitely not. For the vast majority, there is not much quality of life for the vast majority. And all those longer years, in some ways, nearly pointless. Before, people had better quality of lives, even though they were shorter. But this will always also go into everything else, like prevention of all kinds of things, like prevention of crime, prevention of, the way a lot of places become such social welfare states and areas. So people are just sponging off the state, prevention of that, prevention of abuse, the prevention of anything that's bad that's happening, prevention of starvation, prevention of hunger, all these different things, the impacts on the planet. Why do we speak so little about prevention, about all these different problems we have in the world? And we have so many problems in the world, so many of them. Why do we rarely, if ever, hear about prevention? There's very little talk about it. There's very little addressing of the issue and deciding how are we going to cut the head off the snake, for instance. Not very vegan thing to say, but you get my idea. Like, that's the thing. You're not cutting the tail, you're cutting the head off. You're getting, that's the phrase, cut the head off the snake, and then that's the problem. Go to the source of the problem. I think that's it anyway. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's like with health. We've all these health issues. We've got unbelievable escalating obesity, escalating diabetes, escalating cancer, escalating heart disease and strokes, escalating just general illnesses, colds, flus, all different viruses are out there. How is this possible when there's supposedly billions or trillions being invested in research all the time? How is it so hard to find solutions to these things? How is it so hard to at least even, put a dent in them? Like right now, as it is, and no matter if you watch this or listen to this 10 years after I've created this, it'll probably be even worse. Things are way worse now than they were 1 year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. The numbers of people dying or getting disease is getting higher and higher and higher. 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years ago, cancer was barely even a mentionable thing. Same with diabetes. Autism's another thing. Why are all ADHD, depression, bipolar, all these various mental illnesses, all these things were not an issue. They were there, of course, to some degree, but they were not such a big issue. They were not so prevalent. They were not so common. Why? Why aren't we speaking about prevention when there's so much we can do to prevent these things? We can at least limit the experience people have, especially when it comes to mental illness and so on, because there's so many different things that impact it. And at the end of the day, stuff like that is to do with your brain. But let's talk about lifestyle diseases, like simple things like colds and flus and all the millions and millions of different viruses that are out there. So, any kind of viral infection. Why are we not speaking about how to prevent them? How about cancer? Again, we all have cancer cells, every single one of us, and we get cancer if we trigger those cells to become cancerous. It's not a poor me situation. If you get cancer, for 99.99%, if not 100%, I only say that because you can never say anything with 100% certainty. But it's down to, again, lifestyle choices, lifestyle habits Sometimes out of your control. If you live in a city, again, you have the control to live in the middle of the Amazon rainforest, but that's not going to be a lifestyle that people are going to have right now. But if you live in a city, you've got so much electromagnetic frequency, you've got so much pollution, you've got so much radiation, you've got such a stress-induced environment that you're living in. All these things create free radicals. All these things create cortisol. All these things create toxins. All these things create an acidic environment within your body, which is conducive to disease. The more active your body is, the less possible it is for your body to have disease. The more calm you are, stress-free, the less exposure you have to radiation and electromagnetic frequency, the less chance you have of disease. These are preventative factors. But what are we doing? Society's getting worse and worse. There's more and more stress. There's more and more demands on people. There's more and more radiation. There's more and more electromagnetic frequency. We're getting more and more reliant on technology. 5G is here now. Where's it going to go to next? It was like 2 or 3G a couple of years ago. Now we're on 5G. And despite what some people may want to believe, 5G is not good for us. It literally goes through walls. If it's going through walls, what's it doing to the people who are inside those walls? This is the reality. Your mobile phone, all the technology. Now it's part of life. I'm not saying get rid of it, limit your exposure to it for sure. I do my best to do that, but it's part of our lives now. It's not something we don't have, unless again, we go back a long time ago, 50 years, and go out, get rid of technology, live in the middle of nowhere, and just sow the land. It's a high possibility. Something that has crossed my mind at times, I have to say, to break free of this modern world, the modern society, modern conditioning, this hold that the modern society has on us in so many different ways. But we have to start talking about prevention. As I said, especially when it comes to viruses and diseases. The way we live our life is what's creating it. It's as simple as that. And that's a fact that cannot be denied. It will be denied, but it can't be denied in reality. Because let me explain it in a very simple way that I explain it to people in terms of any form of illness, okay, and disease. So look at your body as a castle, okay? Your body is a castle. Your army defending the castle is your antioxidant levels, your immune system. It's your immune system, okay? Your immune system is your personal army. Antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, that's what increases and elevates your immune system and strengthens it all the time. Now, if your castle starts to be attacked by an outside force, an army comes and attacks it. If your army is strong, your own personal army is strong enough and your castle is strong enough, they won't get in. They can't get in. They can't breach the walls. They can't win that battle. If the army comes and it's double the strength of your army, double in numbers, your castle's falling apart a bit. There's a few ways of getting in easily, and the walls get breached, and your army gets slaughtered. That's a virus or disease breaking into your body, because what's attacking you is stronger than the defender. Okay, so your body is not able to defend against it's being attacked by because it's not strong enough. Now, let's say in the middle of that, you call in your friends. There's mobile phones there, whatever you want to do, send doves, whatever might happen, and you call in your supporters. And all of a sudden, an army arrives to support you. And now you've doubled the numbers of what the other army has. And you beat them, defeat them, and push them out of those walls, and your castle's back intact again, free from attack for the time being. You reinforced your army. You reinforced your defense. Now, whether we're talking about colds or flus or pneumonia or any form of virus or diabetes or cancer or heart disease or any of these things, the bottom line, it comes down to how strong is your castle, how strong is your body, how strong is your heart, how strong are your lungs, how strong is your immune system. That's it. This is why we should be speaking about prevention. If we speak of prevention, millions and billions of people will not die. Billions of people will not suffer ongoing with diseases. But you know what the problem is? And why we don't hear about prevention, why there isn't talk prevention, and why there isn't any addressing of these issues? There is no money in healthy people. It's as simple as that. Now, again, you can think, oh, there's no way that can be true. That's so cruel. Humans are not that cruel. Yes, humans are that cruel. The population of the world is used for pawns for profit. That is it. They are a vehicle for profit. It is as simple as that. That's why we live in such a sick world. We live in a sick world, an increasingly sick world. And it's because of profit, because people are literally sick in the head in terms of they will prey on fellow humans for money and profit and power and control. And that's it. Like even the modern medical world, You go to the doctor with some problem, you tell the doctor the problem. What does he do 99 times out of 100? He prescribes you something, sends you off to the pharmacy. How about asking about your lifestyle? How about asking how much water you drink? How's your sleep? How's your stress? Do you exercise? Do you stretch? Do you meditate? Have you some issues going on in your life at the moment? Do you eat much fruits and vegetables? Do you consume much meat products? Do you eat processed food? Do you eat much convenience? Do you eat much confectionery? Do you get out in fresh air? Do you get vitamin D from the sunshine? How about asking those kind of questions? Because the answers to those questions will actually tell you what the problem will be. If someone goes to the doctor and they have high blood pressure or cholesterol issues, or they have cancerous cells in their body, or their blood sugars are getting out of control, or they're having heart problems, or had a heart attack or a stroke, they have a virus, any of these different things. These are the reasons. And also, it's not at that moment you get sick that the problem is, it's building up to that moment. It's building up to that. That's why every single day you should be working on how you can improve your health and well-being. You should be looking to evolve every single day. Look at how can I improve my health and well-being? What steps can I take? Can I drink more water? Can I eat less processed food? Can I eat less meat? Can I, go vegetarian or vegan or even raw? Can I move that direction? Can I eat whole food predominantly? Can I exercise? Can I do more exercise? Can I do resistance training? Can I do some stretching, more stretching? Can I meditate? Can I get outside more? Can I get out in nature more? Can I walk on the grass barefoot more? Can I get out in the sunshine whenever the sunshine? Can I sleep more? Can I stay away from devices more? Can I be less reliant on technology? Can I feed my mind more? Can I get more positivity into my mind? Can I stay around more positive people? Can I eliminate or limit exposure to negative people and negative material? Can I stop listening to the radio? Can I stop watching TV, reading magazines, reading newspapers, consuming such negativity all the time? Can I instead consume positivity? Because again, what you're thinking has a huge impact on all your cells. That's why you have someone who gets told they've got cancer. Two people, one person says, "Feck that, I ain't going to die this way." And they do everything they can to counteract it and totally change their lifestyle, and a lot of the time will survive. Whereas the person is told they have cancer and think, "Oh no, I'm gone or I'm dead," they'd most likely be dead in a few weeks. That's the power of our minds. Even just with our minds alone, we're controlling ourselves and their behaviors. Why don't we hear about this? Why, when a person's given diagnosis that they have a disease of any kind, cancer, diabetes, heart disease, any of these, why is not sent to someone to work on their mental health, to work on creating a positive mental attitude, positive mental environment, controlling how they work their thought process? Why not given nutritional advice on what they should do, and what they should cut out, and what they shouldn't have? Why not told about water? Why not told about sleep? Why not told to move more? Why does this not happen? No profit in it. It's like me. I've lived what would be considered, compared to 90% of the population of the world, probably a very, very healthy life, and an increasingly healthy life, because I've always kept looking how it can improve since I was 17. It's 26 years, constantly improving, and I'll keep improving to the day I die. Why have I not even had a cold? I'd say I haven't had a cold in at least 10 years, it could be 15 years. I haven't been a doctor. I think I've been a doctor once, twice maybe, since I was 17. I can't remember last time I was sick of any kind. As I said, not even a cold. Why is that? I'm of no use to the medical world, the pharmaceutical world. I'm of no use to even the supplement world, which I haven't used supplements now for, again, 10, 12 years. I'm no good to them. If most of the world was like me, they'd be out of business. There would be no pharmaceutical industry or medical industry or supplement industry. A lot of food industry would be shut down too. There needs to be demand for these. There's only demand for these industries if there's sick people. And all these industries are doing is, they're not saving people like it's put out there. If someone gets a disease or an ailment or anything like that, what happens? They're giving something to hold it at bay, to maintain. It's like someone gets blood pressure, told they have high blood pressure at the age of 21. They're given blood pressure medication. Are they told, here, take these, but also do this, 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 and in a year or two we'll review it and hopefully we'll get you off this medication? Of course not. Same with cholesterol, same with all medication. They're told they're on that, they're on it for life. It's a membership. It's a subscription. It's the best business model, the most profitable business model. Get people on a medication. They're on it for life. There could be 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years of recurring income. Usually that medication will have side effects. That would mean it would lead to something else. They will get another ailment, pain, disease, something that will need more medication. That's another subscription and another subscription. And that's why so many people in the world are on 30, 40, 50 tablets a day by the time they're 50. 60, around that age group. What about prevention? What about prevention? Say mental health illnesses. Why aren't we looking at the root? Why are we not looking at the trauma? Why are we not looking at why is that person suffering so much? Why are they suffering depression? Why are they suffering bipolar? Why are they totally out of whack in life and so unhappy? Why are we not going to the root of the problem? Why are we not going back to childhood and seeing what maybe happened? Because again, that's usually where the trauma has happened and they haven't dealt with it. They buried it deep within their mind and it's there. It's constantly impacting their lives. It's that we just medicate. Now, that doesn't mean there's no role for medication. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that no one should ever take medication. My point is we should be focusing on prevention and we should be focusing on eradicating things when they occur because disease will always be there. You could live the most perfect life. Like I said, if I was plonked into the middle of London or New York, I would have an increased likelihood of getting something like cancer, especially, which is very much down to, free radicals and toxicity and cortisol. I would have a higher increase of getting it there than where I'm living here in Limerick, Ireland, and definitely more increased chance of having it than when I lived in Lanzarote in Playa Blanca in a very relaxed environment. I'd less chance there, more chance here. I'd have a hugely increased chance of getting it in London or New York. Does that make sense? Even if you're doing everything right, apart from, again, your environment, you still have an increased chance. That's the modern world we live in. This is why, like I always say to people, there's a big checklist of things that you can do, boxes you need to tick to lead the most optimal life you can, the healthiest life you can, the longevity, independence, healthy, all these different things. But there's some things that, are lifestyle, environmental, situational factors that maybe you can't do anything about at the moment or ever, but there's loads you can. The bottom line, though, in my question, why is prevention never talked about and addressed? Prevention never talked about and addressed because there's no money in it. There's money in not talking about it. Does that make sense? I hope the penny's dropping here. It applies to health, it applies to everything. Again, why are we not focused on prevention? All society's problems, like again with, it's like, look at all the starving people in the world. Starving. How can there be starving people in the world? Look at the amount of food that's produced in the world, even just in the West alone. Look at the amount of food that's produced every single year. There should be no starving people. It'd be very easy to prevent starvation. It'd be very easy to prevent poverty. Be very easy to prevent most suffering in the world. But is there an interest in it? No, there isn't. They're very quick to go and medicate and vaccinate and give all kinds of medications to people in the third world. How about food? How about food? How about clean water? Why not send a few hundred people over and get them to create, proper water supply? Simple things. Simple things. But there's no money in it. Can go the same with war. Why do most wars happen? Is to go in and bleed a place of its resources, its natural resources, and some Mickey Mouse lie created as to why you're going in there. But the reality is drain the resources and get out and leave the place in a mess. We see it in all like the Arab countries where especially the US have gone in and basically bled the place dry of all its resources and now let it be a mess. See with Afghanistan, see with Iraq, see it with Syria. Supposedly places getting better. No, way worse. Because was there any focus on prevention, how to prevent things getting worse or focus on improving it? No. Money. Go in and make as much money as possible, bleed the place of all resources and get the hell out. Because they're of no use to you anymore. Remember, people are vehicles for profit. This is where don't be under any illusions. Your government does not give a shit about you. It never has and never will. And it's been a rarity for any politician anywhere in the world to actually care about its people. And if they have, usually they haven't lasted very long before they were assassinated or taken out in some way. There's been a couple over the history of man that have cared, but they haven't lasted very long. Because the bottom line is there's no profit in healthy people. There's no profit in allowing people even to think for themselves. People mindlessly go through life. They don't live consciously. They don't think about what they're doing. The doctor says do something, they go do it. The government and the TV says go do something, they go do it. Start thinking, start living consciously, start focus prevention. Remember, it's up to you to take personal responsibility for your health and well-being. Not your government, not anyone. It's up to you. And you can take personal responsibility for it. You need to start focus on prevention. Look at what you're consuming, liquids and food. Look at what you're consuming in your mind. Look at whether you move your body or not. All these things, your sleep, access to technology, there's so many different factors. You can control whether you get disease or not. Now, as I said, you can't guarantee you won't get something because there's so many factors that affect it. But you can give yourself the best possible chance, like I do. I give myself the best possible chance of not getting any form of disease or illness. Doesn't mean I won't get one, but I'm giving myself a hell of a good chance. And if I do get something, I would be in a great position to treat it. And again, naturally and in a healthy way. And I'll have a good mind to deal with it too. So I'll have a great chance of surviving, which is what matters. Prevention and dealing with it when it actually happens, not being medicated for the rest of your life. So this is why we don't hear of prevention talked about, and it's never addressed. Even look at the advertising on TV and radio and all. What's it about? All unhealthy lifestyle choices. The occasional time it might have the odd healthy one thrown in about smoking or drinking or bad food choices or moving more, but it's an absolute rarity. 80-90% probably of all advertising is unhealthy lifestyle practices. If your governments cared about you, do you think they'd allow that? Even look now, like at the moment, I don't know when you might listen to this, but we're supposedly living in a pandemic last 2 years. Have you heard anything said about eating healthy, drinking better, more water, getting fresh air, exercise, and moving more, meditating, getting positive mind feed? Have you heard anything about that? All you've heard is fear, 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 fear. Alcohol kept being sold. Fast food continued to be sold. Cigarettes kept being sold. I'm sure drugs were easily available. All these things were there while a lot of the good stuff was shut down. Human interaction was frowned upon and even stopped. We need human interaction. If your health was a priority ever in history, we wouldn't have the situation we have right now with so many people sick and ill and with diseases. That's a fact. There is no profit in healthy people. That's why there's no profit in prevention. You prevent all these things, where's the money going to come from? You know, cancer is an industry. You might like hearing about cancer is an industry. That's why remission rates are massive. That's why someone gets cancer. They supposedly have got rid of it. It comes back again. Why is that? Because they're not actually tackling the issue there. They're not tackling the issue. They're not getting rid of cancer. They're just putting a little pause on it or slowing it down till it comes back again and then treating it again. Do you know how much money is in the cancer industry? It is an industry. Again, you might like hearing it, but it's a fact. Look into it. It's easy to find out. It's an industry. There is no money in prevention. Okay. Something I'm very passionate about because I hate the way the world works. I hate the way society works. I hate the lies and corruption and deceit that's there. I hate this greed and drive for money that basically rules the world and rules what people are told. But it's up to us each individually to open our minds and look at reality for what it is and stop swallowing the bullshit that they're feeding us. We need to start opening our minds and asking questions. If you go to the doctor, say, here, I've got this, and they go, oh, take this medication. Why do I have to take that? Is there not something else I can do? Is there not something I can do with my lifestyle? Can I change some aspect of my lifestyle? Why are we not asking that question? Why are we just taking that piece of paper and going straight to the pharmacy? Why are we doing that? Ask yourself that question. Why are you doing that? Prevention. Focus on prevention. There's no reason to have all this disease and pain and suffering and illnesses. There is no reason for it. We can prevent it. We have to start by opening our minds and start asking questions. If you don't start asking questions and you don't start seeing the world for what it truly is, things will never change. They will only continue to get worse. And it's going to go through generations. You have a responsibility to your children to be a good role model to them, to show them the way. And this is how you can start, by asking questions. Let them see you asking questions. Let them see you taking personal responsibility for your health and well-being and for your life. Because everything you experience in your life is down to you. You are the person who determines what happens. So focus on prevention. Prevention's the way. Okay, so I hope that was helpful for you. I hope that opened your mind a bit. I hope the penny dropped a bit. I hope it made sense. I welcome your questions, your feedback, your comments, your opinions. If you want to lambast me, send me a message across any of the social media or on email or my contact page on my website, Dave Sheahan High Performance. You know, give a rating and review on Apple iTunes. You know, share this podcast out to anyone you feel it would help, because it's important that we get these kind of messages out there. I'm very passionate about this whole area. It's an area I feel so passionate about because, as I said, I hate lies and corruption and the way the world is working. We can reverse a lot of the problems in the world. We can eradicate most of the problems in the world, but we have to unify in doing so. We have to go one direction in it. We have to open our minds and ask questions. And the answers we might get might be what we'd like hearing, but if they're the facts, they're the facts. And then we can decide our own actions after that. Okay? All right. Take care. Have a good one. Hope you enjoyed. Do let me know your feedback. Share this out there far and wide, and make sure you catch up on previous episodes of the Mind Body Health Podcast. This is Dave Sheahan here signing off from the Mind Body Health Podcast. Have a good one. Chat to you next time.